Hey, what's up? This is LDF07. How you doing, Castles? I know it's been a long time. I'm back at you with IDT action. We're going to do a weekend review here. And we're going to start it off with Infinite KB07 with the white pieces and Juanitamann with the black pieces, also known as the Bronze Brick House. Now, this game started June 30th and it completed July 17th. So that's a span of 18 days. And in this first game, let's see what happens here. Infinite started with e4, and we get c5. We get a Sicilian Bowler attack with that bishop on c4. And after developing their pieces, Juanita is able to castle kingside. And Infinite KB07 develops longside. So now the plan for both is to push your pawns to break up the king's defense. If you're Juanita, you're sending a pawn storm on the queen side with this B and A pawns. You want to send them over to get the king here on the queen side on Infinite KB07. And if you're Infinite KB07, you want to send these pawns up, do a pawn storm up to get Juanita's king on the king side. So whoever will get there first will most likely end up winning this game. So Juanita correctly plays pawn to a6. Infinite KB07 plays pawn to h3. Now, I like the idea, but Stockfish would rather have had Infinite put that knight on d5, taking a nice outpost right here. But that's neither here nor there. So Juanita starts marching her pawns down, hitting the bishop. Okay. And then you get an exchange here. And then on move 15, Infinite pushes his F pawn one square. Like there. Stockfish would rather have her be more aggressive and push 2 squares, trying to bust up that center. But didn't do that, just 1 square. Juanita counters with the pawn storm, progression of her own. And Infinite KB07 moves his king over to protect. Wait, hold on, you have to move that queen over. There you go. Infinite moved the kings over to protect but it's too late. Juanita's invasion has begun. Like I said, whoever gets their pawns over there is going to win that game. So you get takes. Juanita moves the queen over to bring in more firepower. Good job by her. Infinite KB07 moves his bishop over in desperation. But Juanita just keeps coming. Bam. Takes a free pawn and hits the rook with her bishop. Infinite KB07 then plays rook to c1, which forces a checkmate in 3 moves. The best move was queen to b2 to prevent a mating pattern, but it's still losing because the Juanita army has invaded. So let's put it back to where it was. And Juanita played bishop takes a2 on the next move, and it was in this position Infinite capitulated as he saw that the mate was coming in 2 more moves. So Juanita sicked the pawns on Infinite's kingdom and came out victorious. Let's go on to the second game. And that game involves Alexin with the white pieces versus SchevalierChess, the Hungarian rookie who's been ranked #1 forever. They start off with, Alexin starts off with e4, and then you get c6. Now, this is the Caro Khan defense. A defense seldom seen in our tournament, so let's see how SchevalierChess, who's ranked, who's rated 1938. He's ranked #1, but that 1900 rating is, means don't mess with me. So let's see how he plays this. They both develop their pieces nicely. Okay, nice development. And I can see here, Alexin castles queenside. They trade off bishops. in his movement. SchevalierChess then attacks the knight. Alex defends it. SchevalierChess then develops his bishop, preparing the castle. And Alex moved the queen to e2 to add another attacker to the h5 pawn. SchevalierChess defends it. And then Chevalier takes the bishop with his knight. And Alex then starts to push his pawns to bust up the defense on the king's side because he's anticipating SchevalierChess to castle that way. But SchevalierChess is unfazed and takes after the exchange, and a couple of more moves, he brings his rook to h7, getting his rook into the action and also taking away the possibility of a kingside castle. He later castles queenside right here. SchevalierChess then starts to move his c pawn forward to start the attack. Alex then blunders a pawn away with that move of knight to d2. And the reason is you now have two attackers on that d4 pawn. This pawn and this queen, while it's only defended by the e3 pawn. So takes, and then SchevalierChess, he plays queen takes e5. So now, he's up 2 pawns. He just added another pawn. Alex had tried to harass the queen. SchevalierChess just sidesteps the queen away, offering a queen trade. Alex puts the queen and rook on the e file. But then SchevalierChess says, let's trade queens, pitting Alex's queen to his king. Nice move. Alex defends his queen with the rook and opts not to initiate the trading of ladies. And SchevalierChess then takes the queen, but he has a trick up his sleeve. How? Alex takes back, but then SchevalierChess quickly plays bishop to g5, a beautiful tactic to pin the rook to the king. In desperation, Alex plays rook c3 check, checking that king right here. But it's to no avail because SchevalierChess moves his king to b8, and Alex knew his rook was gone, and so it was in this position, he just decided to resign. It's a great win for SchevalierChess, showing why he is #1 for so long, beating the 2-time LC champ convincingly. Let's move on to game 3. This one was G Strong with white versus Juanitamann with black. This game started June 30th and ended July 17th. So that's a game that occurred over 18 days. And they start off with another Sicilian, e4, c5. And let's see what we got here. G Strong, who's first to castle on the 6th move of the game. After an exchange of pieces in the center, Juanita castles on her 9th move of the game. G Strong is steadily improving his position. And we're looking for advantages here. The jostling for position is very even. You can see the eval. Oh, let's back this up. It's where Juanita puts her king right here on h7, where she makes a mistake. This makes her vulnerable to bishop e3 here, which you're winning tempo on the queen. You're attacking the queen. And after the queen moves to d1, that pawn is yours. However, G Strong missed it and played queen to f5 instead. Let me back it up. There it is, queen f5 check. Checking the king. And Juanita just simply moves away. The game was even until the turning point of the game when Juanita pushed her pawn to a5. You can see the eval bar is equal, 0.5. Juanita's doing a very good job of defending here, but she makes a mistake right here. Pawn to a5. You can see that eval bar go way up for the white. G Strong is licking his chops. Instead of pawn to a5, Stockfish would have preferred to play e takes d4. I mean, it's still an advantage for G Strong, but it's the better move. You have a passed pawn. That passed pawn can be stopped, but it's just better rather than playing pawn to a5. But instead, she played pawn a5, which allowed G Strong, a.k.a., and I got to say this, the mighty, mighty gorilla, because he's got to find this move, to bust up the center and play d takes c5. Juanita can't take back with the d pawn because that pawn is pinned. Okay, you can't take back, see? That's an illegal move. That queen is checking that king, so that pawn cannot take. And if you take with the f pawn, well, queen takes... D6 check is coming in, and that's, look at the eval bar, plus 14. It's just bedlam. It's terrible. So she plays rook to c5. Just hoping to stop the bleeding. But the angel of death is hovering in the corner as G Strong 100 lowers the boom and plays the strong rook takes d6. Juanita, in panic mode, now takes the pawn. But G Strong 100 says, thank you for the free pawn. Juanita just throwing anything up against the wall now to see what sticks and plays rook to c8 to double up the rooks on that c file. But G Strong 100 says, do you want to resign now or later? When he plays the game-ending move of rook b7 check. And it was then after move 39 that Juanita waved the proverbial black flag and capitulated. She's waving that black flag because she's got the black pieces. So an outstanding win by G Strong 100, especially when Juanitamann said she was going to kick his ass going back last year because she timed out twice. And she said she was going to sweep him. Well, this is definitely not a sweep, as G Strong 100 proves that he is definitely a formidable opponent. Let's move on to the next game. And that's Princess Gold with the white pieces versus King Slayer 46 from the UK with black pieces. This game started on June 30th, finished July 17th. And look at here. Princess Gold with the white pieces plays pawn to c4, the English opening. King Slayer 46 says, how dare you play the English opening when you know I'm from the UK, and counters with c5. Maybe Princess Gold was paying homage. Who knows? This is known as the English opening symmetrical variation because it's like placing a mirror in the middle of the board. You would have the same position, only one color is white and the other is black. So they continue developing their pieces, and it's Princess Gold 1 who castles first on the 7th move of the game. And King Slayer 46 follows suit. And then Princess Gold steals a pawn with his knight. Bam. Oh, right there. Bam. Now, of course, Slayer can't take back with the pawn because that bishop is staring right at his queen. So the queen would be gone. So King Slayer 46 moved his queen to attack the knight, which is nice, but he missed a nice tactic and simply playing pawn to e5, hitting that bishop. Then you get d4, hitting the knight. E takes d4, and knight to d3. That's the better move according to Stockfish, but let's go back. After the exchange, I mean, you're up, and this is definitely winning, but let's go back anyway. So after queen b6, Princess Gold just moves his knight, and he's up a pawn in this game. So let's keep moving. On move 18, knight takes b5. Princess Gold takes another pawn. This is good because not only is he attacking the queen, but he's just created 2 passed pawns. Definitely something to think about when the endgame arrives. So Princess Gold 1 is winning and seems to have this game under control when move 22 occurs. And that's knight d4 right here. Seems to be safe, but take. That's an equal trade, but then King Slayer, he plays pawn to e5, which kicks the bishop away. King Slayer 46 says, thank you for the free pawn. Princess can't take back because the queen would be gone. See that rook staring at the queen? No, you can't do that. So he plays rook to e1. And so King Slayer 46 takes another pawn. And just like that, the 2-pawn lead has evaporated, plus the pawn is hitting the bishop. So Princess Gold 1 moves his bishop. And then these two just played very good solid chess for the remainder of the game. Two very good competitors. And what you're going to get is a draw via repetition. Right here. And it ends in a draw. Very good game from the man from the UK, King Slayer 46, and Princess Gold. Chilling out in Florida. All right, let's go to the next game. And that would be King Slayer 46 again, this time with white pieces, versus Bust a Move 82, formerly known as Terrence I. This game started June 30th, like all games did. All games started June 30th and finished July 18th. We get pawn to e4 from the man from the UK, and then d6, the Pierce defense. Nice. Let's see how Bust a Move plays this. And already on the 6th move, Bust a Move is missing a winning opportunity as he did not take that hanging pawn. Didn't take that pawn on e4. Instead, he moved his pawn to c6. And if he's ever going to challenge for the LC title, he can't miss moves like that, especially in the opening. King 46 quickly defends the unguarded pawn. He saw the mistake. There's an exchange in the middle of the board. And then Buster makes up for his gaff with this move. Beautiful. Queen a4, Queen a5 check, gobbling up the stranded bishop. He's got to address that check on the king by blocking with the bishop, so that leaves that bishop hanging. Thank you. Excellent job from Bust a Move. Good move from Bust a Move. 82. I had to say that. So anyway, Buster threatens the knight. After King Slayer castles, he threatens the knight, but that's not a very good move. Why? Because of this. That's why king safety is paramount. He should have developed his bishop. Go back. Instead of that, he should have developed his bishop so he can castle. King safety is of the highest importance. Instead, he tried to get greedy, and now that leaves you open for the pin, and he's going to lose that pawn. But I'm sure Bust is going to learn from this. He's going to lose that pawn. We get an exchange on e6. Then King Slayer brings his queen out to attack g7. Good move. It actually attacks the g7 pawn and e6 pawn. Buster answers with knight to f6, forking the rook and queen. Slayer takes a pawn where rook takes e6, and now we are even in material, but the better move was taking, let me go back, taking that pawn on g7 with the king, because you're actually attacking the rook with a potential check on the king. But Slayer is going to learn from this as well. Got to practice those puzzles. That's where you sharpen up your tactics. But back to the action. Buster brings the king closer. Great move. He's saying pick your poison. Lose the queen or lose the rook. Your choice. Slayer takes the bishop. with the rook. Buster takes back. And now he's back up in the exchange. You know, great move. Good play by Buster move. I'm impressed. So Buster move 82 is in the cockpit. All he needs to do is play solid chess and bring the 747 in for a smooth landing. Oh, he picked up another pawn, so he got a +3 lead. This is looking very good for Buster move. All he's got to do is just bring this baby in. Wait a minute. Remember that talk about cockpit? Forget about it, because Buster just blundered with rook e1 check. Actually, queen c2 is just better. It's just these small things. Just tickle the rook here on d1. You win tempo. But instead, he played rook e1 check. And Slayer hides his king. Buster goes to queen c2. It's just a move too late. And now it's Slayer's turn to strike back. Queen takes c8 check. Buster runs his king out. Slayer gobbles up that hanging rook and goes up 7 points. And when you go up 7 points, you know, it's basically good night, Irene. Slayer eventually finds a mating pattern. And it's King Slayer 46 who plays like Lazarus and rises from the dead to snatch victory. So a great comeback win from the man from UK. Let's continue with the next game. The next game is Tibbs 0111 with the white pieces versus Kellbell 2385 from Oklahoma, the 5-time ladies champ. Right here, Tibbs opens up with e4. You get e5. And then, whoa, pawn to a3. This is called the Mingarini opening. Excuse my pronunciation. This is seldom seen in LC competition. Let's see how Tibbs 0111 plays this. We have continued development until Kellbell castles kingside here. That's good. And you get some movement here. Bishop h5. And now Kellbell has to be careful not to trap her queen. Kellbell slides a queen to f6, threatening mate on f2. Very slick by her. Does Tibbs see it? Yes, he does. He castles kingside. And what do we have here? We play on. And then, let me rewind it. Bishop to e3. And at the end of this exchange, Kellbell is going to go up by 1 point. So Kellbell is winning here. That's a good exchange by her. They continue to play on. Kellbell is protecting that 1 point lead. Then Kelly eventually gets a rook on the 3rd rank right here and gobbles up another pawn and goes up 2. Kelly, she continues to improve her position, bringing in more weapons. You see that knight, she brought that knight into knight h4. And she's moving them towards the king. She's playing very well against Tibbs. This is not an anomaly, folks. She is a 5-time LC women's champ. When Tibbs brings that queen to f2, which he just did, let me show you right here, that basically sealed his fate because that's mating 9 moves. That's a mating pattern. And, you know, even Ray Charles can see this. Kellbell can handle this. She knows how to finish this. Yeah, right here. Checkmate. Queen a2, checkmate. And just an outstanding win for the woman from Oklahoma. Very happy for her, especially as she took a small hiatus from chess. And to come back and get a solid win like this in a major tournament is very, very satisfying. Kudos to Kellbell 2385. And so that brings us to our next game, Antonio Vivaldi Jr. versus Kellbell 2385. Antonio Vivaldi Jr. with the white pieces. Antonio Vivaldi's from Queens. And Kellbell 2385 from Oklahoma. Antonio plays pawn to e4, and pawn to e5. You get knight to f3 and d6. That's called the Philidor defense. And then Antonio castles. And Kellbell eventually castles herself. Very good. Our club name is Let's Castle. So I always love it when they castle early. And so, more positioning, exchanging of queens. And then you get Antonio plays pawn to c4, but that leaves pawn to e4. Hanging. That's not good. We don't want hanging pieces. And Kellbell simply takes it. She's up 1 pawn. Tickles the bishop right there. Knight to b4, positioning her knights in Tone's territory. I call Antonio Vivaldi Tone for short. I'm not going to say Antonio Vivaldi for the umpteenth time. I'm just going to shorten it and say Tone. So put that knight in Tone's territory. He counters with pawn to a3, hitting the knight, but Kelly simply responds by taking the bishop. Tone doubles up his rooks on the d file to put pressure on her d6 pawn. Kellbell then takes the pawn on f2. And Tone takes back. Kelly then takes the rook with her bishop. And Tone takes back. After the exchange, the material count is still the same, and it's an even game according to the eval bar. Right here. Kelly then pushes a pawn to a6, which allows Tone to bounce his knight into Kellbell's territory, attacking the rook. Excuse me. She moves the rook to d8. Then Tone takes a pawn with his bishop, which is supported by the d3 rook. The bishop also attacks the rook on f8. Kellbell moves the rook to a safer square. Tone just incrementally improving his position now. And Kellbell checks the king with bishop d4 check, which is going to end up being a mistake because Tone takes the bishop with his knight. Kellbell takes his bishop, and then Tone gobbles up the free pawn, and that's a 1-point lead for Tone after 25 moves. Kellbell then tries to whistle past the grave with pawn to b5, but Tone said thanks for the free pawn via en passant. So now Tone has a 2-point lead. After they take each other's pawns, right here and here, Tone moves his pawn 1 rank from promotion. Kellbell moves her king 1 square over to escape the back rank. Tone moves his king closer to the action. Kelly plays rook e8 check. So after Tone moves, she takes aim at his knight. That allows Tone to promote and sack that promoted pawn to get her rook, which makes it a 6-point lead for Tone. And that was basically the game right there as Kellbell resigned after move 37. So great game from the Queen's native. And that'll bring us to our final game of the week in review, as G Strong with the white pieces squared off against the current Let's Castle club champ, IDT. And right here we get e4, and we get the Sicilian, of course. That's IDT's favorite response to pawn to e4. Can the longtime nemesis G Strong 100 handle IDT Sicilian? Let's find out. G Strong 100 castles very early. And he's looking good. He has his pieces developed. He's castle. I like that. And this was a very even game. G Strong was playing the club champ very well. These are very, very good moves. Jockeying for position, looking for advantages. But G Strong eventually made a mistake, and that's all you need with the IDT. I'm going to fast forward it to the turning point here. When played, YDTD played knight to f5. Right here. Now, this knight to f5 move is very good. He's putting his knight in a position to inflict some heavy-duty damage. G-strong 100, he tries to block, put that pawn there on f4, but YDTD says, that's okay. I'll hop my knight onto e6, hitting the rook, queen, and pawn on c2. Rook, queen, pawn on c2. When you get them knights in the house, it's like a bull in a china shop. They wreck shop. So I always tell anybody, I'm trying to teach to, keep those knights out of your house. I have a rule, no knights in the house. But it's an outstanding move by YDTD, as he always seems to put his pieces on squares that they can do the maximum damage. And after the exchange, YDTD goes up 3, and that was basically all she wrote. As you can see, the +3, and it's just too much damage that G-strong has incurred. He's bereft of weapons. He cannot compete. And he waves the white flag. And that loss, along with Juanita beating G-strong 100 in their second game, knocked him out of first place. G-strong 100 was leading group 2 for the longest time. Let's check the leaderboard. Now, as it stands right now, SchevalierChess has advanced. He has advanced to the finals. As you can see, all those ones across the board, he is 14-0. He is perfect, and that is why he's number 1. Tillboy is in second place. He's going to end this this contest in second place in group 2. Kingslayer is third with 8.5 points. As I said before, Tillboy has 10 points in second place. Kingslayer 8.5 in third place. Alexson 7 points in fourth. Princess Gold 6.5 points in fifth. 6 Buster Move, formerly known as Terrence the First, 4.5 points, sixth place. Milan is in seventh place at 4.5 points, and Sunny Days, you have to excuse him. He had to withdraw, as he only had 1 point. He ends up in 8th place. In group 2, for the time being, it's Juanita in first place right now with 10 points. But she has 42 tiebreaker points, so that puts her over G-strong 100, who also has 10 points. He has 41 tiebreaker points. Then you have YDTD, that has not lost, 8 points with 6 games remaining. So he is hot on the trails of Juanita and G-strong. Juanita only has 1 loss, and G-strong has 2 losses. So that's definitely something to keep your eye on. Kellbell, 4th place with 6 points. Tibbs, 5th place with 5 points. Infinite KBO7, 6th place with 4 points. And then you got Antonio in 7th place with 3 points, and Rum Gallo Rum, who had to pull out as well. No points. So that is the week in review in this Let's Castle Club Independence Day Tournament 2023. And I'm Melodef07, and I'll see you soon. Stay tuned.